Yo, what's up, everybody? Super Two. Okay, baby, no video for this Saturday month, for y'all, man. Breaking news, man. Breaking news, man. Okay, the singer Sean Kingston, his mama is serving, I think, 35 years in prison for the fraud case. Until where, so I think, so I did in the past said I think his mama was charged with a type of fraud case. So I think right fraud on charge until they're charged with, I think, the fraud in businesses somewhere, I think somewhere out there, I say maybe in Florida area, to where it was like child with things like fraud in businesses and stuff like that going on, and so they're doing some time. But I feel like the dude Sean Kingston is serving, I think, doing like 35 years in prison for this type of charge, but he's still locked up right now. So I think that his mama was like was arrested, died for this type of charge until they're doing a lot of time. So I feel like his mama was like, got involved in type of fraud case that could be dangerous right there and bad, for the dude career. But I feel like dude Sean Kingston is serving his time. How he doing? Probably, I think, 35 years in prison. So I guess it give him I think 5 years to do. But I feel like he's still locked up right now. So I think he's still so I think he went to court and how he got sentenced to serve 35 years in prison for this type of charge. But so, man, I don't know. It's sad for this dude career, man. So with this dude's career, it's over with, man. So he got charged with type of charge. But I feel like, why would you, as an entertainer, a singer, would do a type of crime like that, man, knowing that you can get a lot of time for things you do? Means that, you go to jail for fraud or anything you do. Like, fraud could be like robbery or something, or do a type of robbery thing, or, like fraud. So I think fraud is kind of like more than a robbery, sense to where, you're trying to fraud people, businesses, things you do. But I feel like the dude, Sean Kingston, is in jail, man, but yeah, but I feel like sad for the dude career, man. But I probably put a type of clip for y'all. So make sure like, comment in, subscribe to peace. I'm out here. Take care and peace.
Half years in federal prison today for wire fraud. His lawyers saying this case was about more than just theft.
It was about the fact that he was a 16-year-old who rose to fame overnight and never had any guidance on finances, never knew how much money was in his bank account. Business managers handled that, and some of them didn't handle it properly. So we're here today because Sean still to this day doesn't know how much money is in his bank account and does like to buy nice stuff.
Remember, his mother was found guilty of fraud and grand theft as well. She got sentenced to 5 years in federal prison last month. Prosecutors said Kingston and his mother used his celebrity name to trick luxury businesses into delivering things to them before getting payment. The payments were then made using fraudulent or worthless wire transfers. Kingston and his mom ended up stealing more than $1 million worth of stuff. According to arrest warrants, the pair defrauded a jewelry business, a luxury bed company, car dealerships, and a TV company. Jesse Kurtz is joining us now with more on this outside the courthouse. Jesse, the sentence, it could have been worse, right? The government had asked for more time. What happened in court and what's coming next?
Yeah, so prosecutors, Yasmin, had asked for 60 months behind bars. He wound up getting sentenced to 42 months, as well as 3 years of supervised release. His attorneys have been pushing for him to spend no time behind bars. His legal team arguing that Sean Kingston should have just served time under house arrest, which he had been doing leading up to his sentencing. His attorneys had pointed to several things, including the fact that they say that he had repaid much of what was owed. They pointed to what they say were good works he'd done in the past, including serving meals around Thanksgiving to those in need. But the judge clearly determined that Kingston needed to spend at least some time behind bars. We did hear from Kingston's legal team afterward. We did not hear from Kingston himself because he was immediately taken into custody. Here's part of what we heard from Kingston's legal team.
I think that anybody who buys diamond jewelry, and you all know from social media, I would call it an addiction. Just like people who have an addiction to gambling get a lower sentence, I would say that this was an addiction to nice stuff.
And here's also a look, Yasmin, at some of the figures that have been discussed in this case. And at this point, the amount of restitution is still TBD. There's a hearing set in October, or I should say in October. That is when we are expecting a conclusion to the amount of money that Sean Kingston will still owe, unless there is any kind of agreement reached between prosecutors and the defense team in between between now and then.